Hello, people of YouTube land, those that are part of the Cringe Crew Gaming Community Discord, those that follow Ted and I on Twitch, and anybody that is listening to this as an audio version on whatever podcasting platform that this gets uploaded to, so that way, we can future-proof it in case it goes to someplace besides Spotify. Um, This is the Cringe Crew Gaming Movie Review Podcast. I am Traductus.
And I'm Ted.
And that is the first time I did not botch that.
And only 5 us, dude. I'm really fucking proud of you.
Thank you. And, Christ now. I'm self-aware, you asshole. You just killed it. You just killed my momentum.
I was trying to give you props, you know?
Oh yeah, this is obviously a podcast where we go through a director's filmography. We watch the films in chronological order, as in like they're released, and then we review them. This time we are covering Stanley Kubrick. Previously, we covered Christopher Nolan, and also prototype to this. We did a James Bond review podcast. Please go back and watch all of them. And yes, we will do an episode on Oppenheimer when it comes out. And we probably, whenever the hell they get around to making another James Bond film, we'll review that. But that's way off in the future. And Oppenheimer doesn't come out until July. So we are kicking things off with Stanley Kubrick. And this is his third movie, and this is 1956's The Killing. It had a budget of $320,000, and the production company was the Harris Kubrick Pictures Corporation, distributed by United Artists, released in May 19th, 1956. And with that being said, we're going to go with the more background, as in the cast. For like the one of the main leads, we have Sterling Hayden as Johnny Clay, the head of the entire operation. Sterling Hayden is best known for his role in the movie The Asphalt Jungle, also Johnny Guitar. His role in another Stanley Kubrick film that we're going to be watching pretty soon as General Jack D. Ripper in Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. And he was also a police officer, Captain McClusty, in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. So he's actually like a semi,
He's recognizable in a modern time. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have Colleen Gray as his wife Faye in this movie. She is known for her roles in Nightmare Alley, Red River, and also this movie. Vince Edwards as Val Cannon. That is the person, I believe. Yeah, that is definitely the dude that is sleeping with George Petty's wife, which I'll get to. Why the hell they have it ordered like this is beyond me. But Vince, he's known for his role as Major Cliff Bricker in the 1968 war film The Devil's Brigade. J.C. Flippin as Marvin Unger, one of the people that are part of this whole caper that this movie surrounds. He's basically a character actor and a vaudeville comedian. Elijah Cook Jr. as George Petty. He's known for his role in as the psychopathic killer Wilmer Cook in the movie The Maltese Falcon. He's also known for his roles in The Big Sleep, Shane, This movie, House on Haunted Hill, and Rosemary's Baby. What I mean by House on Haunted Hill, I mean the Vincent Price one, not the remake with Ty Diggs. We also have Mary Windsor, who plays George's wife. Sherry Petty. She's known for her roles in Force of Evil, The Narrow Margin, and this film. Teddy Corsia as policeman. Randy Keenan, another member of the. I guess let the cat out of the bag. This is a heist film.
I was gonna say, call it what it is. Not a caper. It's a goddamn heist.
He's known for his role as the ex-wrestler murderer Willie Garza in the movie The Naked City, and also a role of a gangster that turned state witness in the movie The Enforcer. Joe Sawyer as Mike O'Reilly. He's best known for mainly TV, such as TV shows such as Maverick, Sugarfoot, Peter Gunn. Also Sawyer in Tarzan's Revenge. Timothy Carey as Nicky Arcane, who is the gunman, the sharpshooter in this movie. He's also known for he's going to show up in another Kubrick film, Paths of Glory, as one of three soldiers accused of cowardice. And I think the only other person to note really that we're going to have there is Kola Kwariani as Maurice Obokov. That's obviously the dude that starts the frickin' brawl. And come to find out, he is a professional wrestler. And not only is he a professional wrestler, he's also a legit Greco-Roman wrestler, and also coached the big huge star of Capital Wrestling Corporation, which was Argentina Rocca, and Capital Wrestling Corporation turned into what is now WWE. And not only did he help coach and train the original face of the WWE's company, but also the longest running champion, Bruno Sammartino. And a reference to the movie, since he is shown in observing in a chess club. Apparently he also was known for playing chess and was the only chess playing professional wrestler in the United States. Oh, and he's from Georgia, hence the heavy accent. Not like the state, the country. If you watch this film, you can tell really easily that he is of Eastern European descent. That covers it for cast. Went back too far. For the production of this, Kubrick met fellow producer James B. Harris, who was looking for a young new talent to produce for. After Harris had sold his film distribution company, and they met while playing chess, and he considered Kubrick the most intelligent, creative person that he had ever came in contact with, and then they formed their own basically movie studio. Harris purchased the rights to Lionel White's Clean Break for $10,000. So this is a movie adaptation, which Stanley Kubrick is very well known for, of different novels. Good examples are Barry Lyndon and The Shining. Now, United Artists comes into this because they were interested in having a film adaptation of Clean Break as a film vehicle for Frank Sinatra. However, uh, uh, you know, Kubrick's company got there first, and United Artists told them that they would help finance the film if they could find a high-paid profile actor to star, which is how they ended up getting Sterling Hayden, who accepted the. I mean, he accepted the role for 40 grand of 1950s money. Holy shit! And this was the last feature film of Stanley Kubrick's to be filmed completely in the United States. And that's basically what I have that's kind of important on this.
Okay. Well, I think that.
Oh, and they also picked Kola Kawari because he was an old chess friend of Stanley Kubrick's.
I'm gonna wait for more silence before I try again. So
That's it.
motherfucker. You said listen the last time and then you fucking. All right. So plot. It's a heist. Super layered. Only one guy appears to know what's going on, telling different people different parts of the story to make the heist happen. Everybody's supposed to get their cut, and drama takes over. The protagonist that we follow also has an outside influence, being his wife, trying to leave him and take his money, which leads to a heist of the heist. Everything's super layered. Really solid plot line, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I think that pulls us towards likes and dislikes.
Yeah. Shall we go with dislikes first or likes first?
I think dislikes is probably a shorter list, so I think that makes the most sense to start. I think overall we both had a pretty positive opinion of this movie, so dislikes makes more sense.
Yeah.
First and foremost, his wife's a bitch.
She's supposed to be, though.
I know, but it's so over the top, man. She could saw this man in half and it would cut less deep. Holy shit.
She is such a dope, too, throughout the entire thing. Although...
I disagree. I think she's brilliant because she tells you exactly what she's...
I said he is.
Oh,
he
okay.
Is, not her.
I thought you said... Okay, no, he's an idiot. That's my next one. But the grand scheme of things, like we're talking about George, not Jake. Yeah, I think that most of the dialogue in this movie was written really well, except for George's goddamn wife. I didn't even bother to learn her name because she was just awful. She was just asshole to me. Like you could call her asshole and it would be too kind. I
have a feeling that the script was just like, just be an asshole.
Her dialogue, like all of it made sense, and I get it. Like I'm not complaining, but it was just so fucking cruel and unnecessary, just awful. And then despite how like outwardly brutal she is towards George this entire movie, George's whole involvement in this plot is to satisfy her and feels like he can never give her enough. Not to get too far into the story, spoiler if you want to go back and watch, he goes back on his literal fucking dying breath so that his last words can be to her. He drives across the city so that he can see. Jesus H. Christ, dude. She's so awful, and he does absolutely everything, bro. Like, oh my God. It's infuriating. It really is. I think for the most part, everything here was pretty solid, though. The only other real complaints I have were there were some weird shots that were like overexposed and underdeveloped. But
that's what I was gonna say.
But I think they faced a lot of the cinematography stuff from the last movie that it seemed to be pretty well put together. So my dislikes list, like I said, is really, really short.
Yeah, and to me, I think like George's character is like a little bit too much of a freaking dope in this. But at the same time, his dopiness. Spoiler alert. Also, like, while the person that George's wife is cheating on holds up like everybody except for Jake, because Jake shows up late with the money and misses this whole entire freaking like bloodbath that's happening. I'm not entirely sure if like George has the gun ready, knowing that his wife is cheating on him, to shoot, like thinking that maybe he's thinking that his wife betrayed, or if he's shooting Jake because she does say something that Jake, like, you know, like harmed her in a certain way while questioning her. So like there's a couple of things that you're kind of thinking like, which is what, but I think it's the latter, just because of how dumb George is in this entire thing.
Well, and the other part too about him being a dope is that like his involvement in the plot is so minimal. Like the grand scheme of things, this entire heist, it's got like 6 or 7 people working throughout it, at least that you see. All he does is open a door. Like his entire job is go to work like you normally would, and then open this door. That's his whole like, it's okay that he's a dope, and it fits. Like the plot develops because he's a moron, so it doesn't bother me so bad. But I
reason why it goes so shit.
I don't know about that.
Not all of it, but like there's a few things also. So like the sharpshooter, it's his own dumb fault why he gets fucking killed. But
no, I like the heist doesn't happen without George, and they only have him because he's a dope. He doesn't participate in the heist if not for the shit with his wife, and then the shit with his wife doesn't happen if he's not a part of the heist. Like George is the centerpiece to literally everything that happens, and it only happens because he's a moron. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's annoying. I understand it's necessary. It's kind of like with you with his wife. It's like, why does she have to be such a bitch? And you're just like, well, it's why what happens is because she is such a bitch. Same with him for him being such a moron. So
fair enough. I just fucking hate it.
But anyway, we'll go into likes now.
Sure. So this I've never known, like, okay, my experience with Stanley Kubrick is that he's trying to put across a greater point that requires some, well, say higher levels of thinking without really racking your brain, right? You don't need to be intelligent to watch his movies. Like, they can be entertaining without you gaining the bigger point. This one, I don't know that there was like this whole big broad strokes, this is the lesson you should have learned, like a kid's cartoon. But there were really intelligent layers. This was a really thorough story. Like everything was really well laid out. They timed everything perfectly. I thought the actors hit all their notes. Like even though it was an adaptation, right? Like a film adaptation, like I still think it required a whole lot of moving pieces to bring it to film. And I was really thoroughly impressed. The story is really flushed out. It makes sense for the format that it's in. Like everything is phenomenally done. It was really well assembled.
I wonder how much was changed from like the novel, because I was thinking like how the reason why it ends the way it does is probably because of the Hays Code, which was like basically if you had like a movie with criminals in it, the criminals must be punished at the end. Hence why an unrelated movie, but like The Bad Seed, if you've ever seen that. Basically, little girl is a freaking psychopath and then kills her mom. And in the book, she gets away with it. But in the movie, random lightning bolt kills her at the end. Because the Hays Code.
No, I mean, like, I don't know how much was changed. I thought it was really well assembled. And
I will say this, the ending is really good.
Well, and the ending makes the whole thing more impactful too, right? That like, you ended up watching this whole... First off, let me back up half a step, because everybody fucking loves a heist, okay? You can't tell me you don't love a heist. Your brain is wired. You're gonna love a well-done heist. You can't fucking help it. You can't do it. You can argue it all you want. Everybody loves a heist. Everybody loves a heist. So
it's why Ocean's 11 is watchable.
Right.
The remake.
It's so bad, but you're just like, they're gonna do it, and I know how they're gonna do it, but I have to see if they can do it. What's the twist? Like you're wired. You have to, man. But the cool thing about this movie is that like once the heist is said and done, the ending doesn't quite go according to plan, and then at the end, it just ruins the whole concept of the heist.
Yeah,
like whether it's that law that like the bad guy can't get away with it kind of thing, right? That like you know, or if it's just, hey, all of this happened for nothing. George is the central idiot to make these 3 plot lines happen, and at the end of the day, doesn't fucking matter. Eat shit, watcher. Like, it's brilliant. It's so fantastic, man. I really
I like at the end.
it.
I like at the end, like Jake's like last line, like it's like they're telling like, hey Jake, run. And it's like he's like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he says, what's the difference? Whether he dies in prison or whether he dies to the cop, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's brilliant. No, it's so phenomenal. The ending was so well written. Like I also
it's so well acted, especially for like 1950s.
For the most part, I think the characters that get a lot of screen time do a pretty good job. I will argue that George's wife is not the greatest actress. But also, like, the 95% of her character was say mean thing, cheat on husband, right? That like it wasn't.
She wasn't really given a whole lot,
right? There were a couple characters that were within the heist that I didn't think did a great job. There were bit parts that like didn't necessarily have to act, but they were notably just like uncomfortable,
right?
But overall, I mean, I think it was pretty well done. The people that needed to put on a performance did, and it was pretty stellar. I really I just like, I'm impressed with the way that they were able to like put different, you mentioned the budget, and I think a lot of that had to go to shooting in different places with different angles and different effects. The horse races and the angle towards the horse race, all of the props, and like they filmed this in so many different sets, and to still get good shots and good lighting and good sound from each and every one of them, to assemble them in a way that made sense both towards the storytelling of the heist and to you as a viewer. Like I just think they assembled this masterfully.
And the thing I really like about this is that everybody that's a part of the heist has a reason to be in the heist. Like, Jake wants to retire his criminal career. There's like 3 people that work at the horse thing. George, you know, it's because of his wife. The bartender is because like his wife is sick and he needs money to take care of her. The one person that works at the racetrack is really good friends with Jake, so therefore he wants to help him out. All right. Thanks.
Wouldn't be us if it wasn't scuffed.
Yeah.
But no, I agree that like the difference between this and Ocean's 11 that you mentioned earlier is that we know why everybody's a part of this other than just the thrill of the hunt kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right. Like everybody, you know that George is in it because he works at the track, because he's behind on his money, because, you know, like, and then his wife. The thing
is, the only person that literally comes out like all right at the end is like Maurice. It's like he gets arrested for like for starting a bar fight, but like he gets $25,000 up front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, in the grand scheme of things, like I think they did a really good job at establishing why everybody was a part of it, instead of just, well, this guy's George Clooney and he loves to steal things, so he has to.
Right.
Like, they did a really good job at putting everything together, filling in the beginnings, the middles, and the ends. Like everybody had something complete.
And gosh, I also like how everything, like, it's not just George's thing that makes things go wrong. There's other things that make the plan go wrong, but like the sharpshooter who shoots the horse, like he insults an African American in the 1950s way. He screws up by doing that because like he runs over the horseshoe that the African American was gonna give him. And then ends up not being able to get away and get shot that way. And it's like, it seems like little by little, like each screw up just kind of makes things worse. But you're like, well, everything's kind of can work out at the end. Like even like after George's thing, you're just like, well, Jake's gonna at least get everything. And then his ordeal happens.
It was funny. It like to look back at it. The whole thing was very. I don't know if you're familiar with Agatha Christie's, and then there were none.
Yeah,
Which is, it's basically just a dinner party and people keep getting killed off one by one, right? Like, and this was the same kind of thing. Like, the heist went in such a way that you're like, well, the sniper died. I mean, I guess they can still do the heist without him. And then somebody else dies. And then the plot tangles and unravels again. And then, the meetup gets robbed again. Like, then there's just so many things that break this apart that it ends up whittling down to the last guy who, literally fumbles the bag anyway. Like, it doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, it's just the whole thing unravels itself. It's beautiful.
What difference does it make?
Right. That's exactly it.
So I don't really have much to really like. Honestly, people should really watch this. Like, this is very, very, like, I've never watched this before, never even heard of it before, and I have to say, this is already one of my favorite heist films.
Yeah, it's a very simple film. Like, I hate that we're not breaking this down further, we're not really going in depth, but in the grand scheme of things, like, it's a very simple film, but it's so marvelously done. Like, there's really nothing much bad to say other than, like, his wife should have died sooner. Just throwing it out there. At
least George finally stands up for himself.
Not really. Not really. Like, if you really boil it down, no, he fucking didn't.
Yes. He just shoots her, just goes, why? And then falls dead.
Yeah, no, he didn't really stand up for himself. Like, that's just... fucking hell. Man goes in his dying breath, not to the hospital, but to say some last words to his wife who's been cheating on him, and he fucking knows it. Fucking hell. All right, I think this comes down for rankings, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be pretty clear for both of us that this is...
Yes, number 3 by far.
No, I think this is a first movie for both of us. I can't speak entirely for Stallman, but I know that this is the first one that I can say that, like, I genuinely enjoyed. Like, this watching experience was positive instead of just, well, I watched it.
Yeah, the last one, like, I was more enjoying like certain like Kubrick-esque things, but like I wasn't really enjoying the movie, hence why like I ranked it lower than the first one. But like this is the first one that I was actually like engaged in watching.
Excuse me. Well, I'm
excited for Paths of Glory, which is next.
Paths of Glory should be pretty exciting. Unless you got anything else, I think we're wrapping up.
Nope, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this one, which, as always, means to follow us both on Twitch, Stallman at Traductus, myself at Ted Green Eagles. Hop in the Discord. We watch movies for the Kubrick series and then future movies on Tuesdays, so you can join in for those. And then, as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you here next week. Adios.
See ya.